Hey, kia ora, Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Sun City in Arizona. Hope you're all having a super fantastic sparkling start to Magic Monday. Yes, this is the day of the week where we set the tone for the entire week. So what magic you create today is going to continue on through the week. So where is your head at? Is it on your shoulders? Are you listening to what's between these two things? Because that is where the magic happens. When you get into the mode, I mean, I'm like fired up because I know this week is going to be absolutely incredible. There is so much stuff happening this week. My schedule is packed. I looked at my schedule and I thought, is there any way I can like lessen the workload or anything else? And it's like, no, we are all systems go from now. It is going to be an incredible week. We've got a big launch coming up on Saturday, which is going to be absolutely amazing. There's last minute testing going on. I've got projects I'm working on. I have appointments scheduled in as well. I am so fired up for this week. I just can't describe it. It is, it's insane. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be an insane week in a good way. It is going to be absolutely amazing. And I can't, I just want to get started. It's like, I got this list to do. I've got this magic list to do. I need to get it done. So as soon as this call's over, I'm onto my morning training call. And then I'm into creating magic this week because like I said, my calendar is full. I have all my to-dos for different projects I'm working on are all scheduled into my calendar. I have my little timer thingamabob available right here so I can set it, forget it, and just get in and get working, and then it'll remind me when I've got to go take breaks. It is going to be a full-on week. So what magic, and yes, I have scheduled rest times in there as well. I've got lunch breaks scheduled in there, and because of the temperatures this week, we're going to be in the high 80s, low 90s this week. So at lunchtime, Zephy and I are going outside for a walk. We're going to go get some fresh air, go for a walk. Oh my gosh, she's looking at me like, can we go for a walk? You just got back from one. But, I've got scheduled in there times to go for walks as well, to get outside, get some fresh air, just to recharge the brain because, like I said, it is going to be an intense week, but it is going to be super exciting. I can't contain the excitement. You guys are going to get it gushing on you in sparkles this week, so be prepared. So what are you doing this week to fire up your week to make it an incredible, incredible week? Zephy's now gone back to bed to rest up. Okay, tell your story question of the day. Which event in the past would you like to have witnessed? Think about all the history that you know of, way back before you were born. And it may even be something that your ancestors were involved with. It could be something an event that took place that your ancestors were involved with. Maybe they were at Fort McHenry during the Battle of 1812, when the British were raining down all of those cannonballs and stuff on Fort McHenry, trying to take over to get into Baltimore. So maybe you had ancestors there. Maybe you had ancestors in the American Revolution, and you want to go back and see them fighting or something, and learn something key about that battle. Maybe it could be somewhere during the Civil War that you had relatives fighting in the Civil War, and you wanted to go and get a perspective, and you want to go witness it just to get a perspective. Now, you'll be completely safe during this time. I mean, if you could travel back and witness this event in the past, you would be completely safe. So what event in time would you like to go witness firsthand? Maybe you had, and it's something that's directly related to your family because it's a point in time in history that your family was involved with. Maybe they were fighting in it. Maybe they were actually there on the ground. Maybe they were actually there on something like the Titanic when it sunk. Maybe they were there and they were ones that survived in one of the lifeboats. What was it like for them being in that lifeboat in that cold? And watching the ship go down and hearing the screams of loved ones as they're dying and things. So what was it like? What event in time? Maybe it could be a coronation. It could be the coronation of a king or a queen. I was watching My Family Secrets Revealed last night, which is the British version of Genealogy Roadshow, and there was a woman there who has, what was that name? Dupree? It was Dupree. Dupree, and there was a George Dupree who was a silk maker who made the coronation robes for King Edward VII, and of course for his wife Queen Alexandra. And she wanted to know, were they related to him? Well, it turns out he was her first cousin 4 times removed. But as they went back through her tree and stuff, the Dupree name started coming into the tree, and every time they hit the Dupree name for the fathers, they were looking at birth certificates and marriage certificates that had on there that they were silk weavers. They were silk weavers. And so they looked at this and they found out, well, this, your 4 times great-grandfather, 5th times great-grandfather, he was 4 times great-grandfather. What was it? 3, 4, somewhere around there. He actually had a brother, and his brother had a son called George, and George is the one that wove the robes for King Edward VII for his coronation. So maybe that would be something that she would like to go back and see, her first cousin 4 times removed actually creating the robes for the king. Wouldn't that be so cool to go see, and then witnessing the coronation? So think of events that have taken place in history where you may have a personal connection through your ancestors, and what would you like to go back and witness? Which event in the past would you like to go back and witness? Think about that and write it down. I don't know. There's just so many things, and I was like thinking, well, I could. Yes. What could I do? So there's a lot of stuff. It could even be on a boat with coming out with great grandparents when they came out on the boats to New Zealand from England. Can you imagine what that trip would have been like? It was like 6 months, I think it was, to get from England to New Zealand. And of course, not everybody survived. And in one case, one of my ancestors actually gave birth while on the ship. So, they left with the husband and wife and their 2 kids, and arrived with husband and wife and 3 kids by the time they got to New Zealand. So yeah, so things happen. So what events in history would you like to be able to go back and witness, and make it something that your ancestors were involved with too, because it gives you that personal connection. Anyway, I got to get going. And don't forget, if you have a question about researching family trees, please private message me or drop your questions or comments below so we can put it out there as a question. And we have one coming up, is it tomorrow night? I have to go and have a look at my calendar and see where I've scheduled it in there. I do have it scheduled in my calendar as to what I'm going to be talking about for that, so I'll have to go check it out. But anyway, go have a super fantastic Sparkling Magic Monday. Create an incredible day, which is going to set you up for the coming week. As you know, I am super excited. I'm like shaking with excitement right now. I can't contain myself. Anyway, I'm out of here. I got to go get ready because I got another call to get on, and my week has already started, and I couldn't be more excited. Honestly, I couldn't. I've got amazing things happening today, and I've got a not a tight schedule. It is loose in some areas, and it allows me a little wiggle room in some areas, which I need. But like I said, I have my timer sitting here ready to go, and I have my schedule ready to go. Everything's in there. All my to-dos are scheduled in the calendar, so I don't forget anything this week. But I do have a little wiggle room in there for last minute things that come up, because I'm pretty sure there's going to be some last minute stuff coming up this week. Anyway, go have a super fantastic sparkling day, and we'll catch you back here around 6 p.m. this evening for part 2. Hey, Konera.